Live. So, hello everyone, hello, and welcome to the Geek Battle Show here on the Extreme Improv Extreme YouTube channel. So, get ready, guys, because today is the day. We've been waiting a couple of years for this. We're going to finally be discussing the new Superman movie from James Gunn. We've got the first photos of cast in action from the new Harry Potter TV series. There's all kinds of other things, I'm sure. Fantastic Four is only days away. And I've seen new trailers and things for it even in the last few days. But first things first, let's go to the intros.
Welcome to the Geek Battle Zone. We discuss comics and puny minds are blown. We debate Marvel versus DC, Skeletor, X-Men, and Ron Weasley. Judge David slams down the gavel and cap dreams of Henry Cavill. It's a Geek Battle stream, nerd rage as we assemble our Geek Avengers team. Welcome to the Geek Battle party. We are the Justice League and our Batman is Marty. Say Hitler's a Tim as movies are greenlit. Every new movie, Dev's already seen it. Xbox, Star Wars, and Star Riders. He-Man, Star Trek, and David loves spiders. We battle as Morrow and Disney will blink. And we try to crown the Geek of the Week. It's the Geek Battle Show. Welcome to the Geek Battleground, where we use the Force and the One Ring is found. Cap is wrong about Resident Evil 6. Everyone watch out. Oh shit, it's Nick. Gerald and Tim and Diz will try to win at the Geek Battle quiz. David and Dave will confuse their crew as they dive in the TARDIS of Doctor Who. Watch out now, we're full of hot takes. Doug Courtney is garbage, but Red Dwarf is great. You love Sega, I love Nintendo, but in the Geek Battle, we are all friendos. Oh, it's a Geek Battle show. Oh, the Geek Battle show. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Geek Battle show.
Yes, that is our Geek Battle, and we're coming to you live. We're going to be discussing so many things today, I'm sure. But first, let's get on with the intros. First of all, say hello to the people.
Heyo, I wish you had come to me last because my geek fact is fucking wrong.
The geek fact is wrong?
Long, sorry.
Oh.
Long.
Well, we'll put a timer on it.
Condense it.
Well, since we discussed what would you do if you were Homelander, the last Geek Battle, I actually did go on and thought of a real big discussion about it. But to cut short, what I would actually do on the economic front is that I would get rid of all the billionaires. I would tax them to shit. Okay, I would just take all the wealth and I would tax them to shit and I would spread the economy and make money valuable again. Second thing I will do is that I will make qualifying exams to qualify to run any government. In the economics and the sciences, you have to take exams and then you'll only be allowed to run for presidency. I will do that for all the countries. And the other thing, like we established before, one person being able to travel to space easily with Homelander's powers is actually a really good bonus that you can use. Maybe not become a galaxy-faring race, but you can definitely use to become a solar system's expanding race. Because, well, you don't need fuel to thrust your rocket. You can literally make Homelander carry the rocket out of orbit with how many people you want in it.
No. What?
So,
What?
What?
No, do you know what, Cap? I agree.
What?
How is this a geek facts?
I don't know. Right. Okay. Right.
No, I'm
Cap,
not
you get a
finished.
bonus point.
I'm not finished. The last
What?
decree I will do, I will make the last decree I would do. I would ban human breeding. No more than 8 billion. Afterwards, maybe when we establish a base on the moon or Mars, we can start breeding again. But other than that, no breeding until then.
Oh.
Wait.
Oh.
So you have got a no breeding rule?
Yes.
Get out. Right. Okay. Next up, Diz, say hello to the
Yeah.
people.
Hi,
And
everybody.
give us a random geek trivia fact.
My random geek trivia fact is Cap still needs to get laid. What in the what was that?
I don't know.
Come on.
4 billion points to this.
That's the only that is the purest geek trivia fact that exists at this moment in time.
Okay. KD, say hello to the people. Give us a random geek trivia fact.
Hello. I forgot about this, but I was second Diz. Cap definitely needs to get laid.
Okay, there we go. Right. So, Dave, I do have an intro.
I'm calling the prostitute right now.
Right.
Please.
Okay. Right. So,
Well, hello to the people. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to where you hail from. My name is Dave MC, and my geek fact is Doctor Who related. So, David, this might surprise you. In 2005, when they were doing the revival of Doctor Who, originally the Daleks were not going to be in the new series. There was did you know that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Because it was so I just looked it up, and it was a thing with the Terry Nation estate that owned the rights to the Daleks or the Dalek property, and because the BBC and them were having a debate on that and saying, "Oh, it will damage the brand of the Daleks," they originally weren't going to be back. They wanted the BBC to come up with something different. Of course, then that was settled, and then we got Dalek.
I don't quite understand the full deal of how things were different to what they are now, but that was even a thing where they're saying about, like a few months ago, about no, they're not bringing back the Rani because the Rani's rights are tied up, and like K9, that's how K9 got an Australian spin-off that was nothing to do with BBC. It's because all of the creators of these individual characters retained some ownership, which I think is a really cool idea.
K9 was?
Sorry?
K9 was in the normal.
Yeah, I know, but there was also a series made in Australia which featured K9, and BBC was nothing to do with it because someone else had got ownership of the rights over K9, and so even though they did a deal with to bring K9 back, that's why K9 hasn't been back since 2010.
Got you.
And have you noticed as well? There's been no Dalek story these last two series.
There was a tiny clip of the Daleks with that last episode with Shooty.
I don't really count it as a Dalek story, though.
No, no, absolutely.
Like a Dalek-centric story.
But no, the Daleks... Well, this was the thing, with Shooty had an interview saying, I want to meet the Master, I want to meet the Cybermen, I want to meet the Daleks. Met none of them.
You should have stayed longer then, dude,
Yeah, should have. I'll give one quick thought on this, actually, because I'd never even considered this. What was if the next thing they do Doctor Who related is they just do that movie? I haven't even heard anyone discuss the idea of why don't they do a Doctor Who movie?
Or just round it off?
No, not necessarily to round it off, but if you remember, the Star Trek, they did movies.
You mean the missing Dalek movie with Peter Cushing, the one that never got made?
What I don't know what you mean. It did
because Peter Cushing did the Dalek movies, which were the William Hartnell stories, and they were going to do the chase, but they didn't get the money back from Dalek Invasion of Earth, so they didn't do it.
Okay. But yeah, so if they need to rest the show, look, if they were like, oh, we're going to lose Disney funding or whatever, I'm sure they could find a scenario where they could fund a reasonable budget Doctor Who movie that's going to last 2 hours, and they'll be like, oh, there's not going to be another like series on TV for a couple of years. The next thing is we're really excited for a movie, and if they'd just put their heads to that, then I don't think there'd be all of this doom stuff over it being cancelled.
But I don't think it would do very good in the slightest.
Okay.
I really don't.
I think if they had the right story, like if they'd done like if you take some of these episodes we've spoken about a lot, like Blink or Waters of Mars or one of these things where it's like it's borderline like a horror story and it's like this really interesting monster and it's a Doctor Who movie, then it could work.
Yeah.
Then it would just be a 12A horror film like The Woman in Black.
Yeah, I mean that's what. Even though it sucked, they did this with the X-Files, where they made a movie, then they made series, then they made another movie. In the second movie, they were like, we want it to be as standalone as possible. It sucked, but they just wanted it to be something that would stand alone.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I think the problem if you get Doctor Who in a movie and it works is that there's going to be a lot of pressure from executives to make it just a movie franchise, and
I agree.
They're not going to take it back. I always thought that the way Next Generation, Star Trek: The Next Generation, could have continued was you do like 3 years of TV and then a movie, and then 3 years of TV and then a movie, and then 3 years.
Yeah, I agree.
And they could have evolved it, the cast and everything, but
Well, it worked better back then with TV movies as well, didn't it? It's not as much of a thing now.
Yeah, I mean, I think didn't they release the 50th anniversary Doctor Who special? Didn't they release that in theaters as well?
Yeah, the last episode, where that was the very last episode that came on, where Shooty regenerates into Billy Piper. You could see that at the cinema.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, guys, I think we should get to the elephant in the room. Why the new Superman movie was disappointing, guys.
Oh, for God's sake!
Let's just get to it, guys. It was.
Let's hear it.
It was disappointing.
Can I just say, sorry to interrupt here. I only know from hearsay as to what this. I've not seen the Superman film.
Same.
I've only gone off hearsay about what people have said about it and that. So feel free to spoil away.
Yeah, and I have a different opinion from what I've heard. So.
Yeah, do you know what? Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Like, just it so happens that Diz is wrong about this.
Wrong, you're wrong, Pastansky. Right, let's hear your complaints. Let's hear your complaints.
Well, I don't want to like dominate for like 20 minutes, which I could.
No, I just want you to
I'll give some bullet points and we can discuss back and forth.
You somehow managed to write a paragraph with your flippers, I guess.
Yeah.
that told us how you felt about this movie, and every
I
word
take
of it was
pencil
wrong.
onto the end of my claw.
That's right.
And so the thing which you reacted to, so the anyone watching, listening won't understand this because it was just between us. I said that they got all of the characters wrong. I said it was a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and they did, and it was. Like they made Superman just an absolute imbecile throughout. He just like his voice sounds a bit too loud.
I would reject that point. I think the only thing they've done very good in this film is to nail the character of Superman. He's actually
they made him a complete
who wants to do good.
They got all the characters right. They got all the characters exactly right for the golden age. Not for your modern day, for your modern day grim and gritty bullshit Superman. For the golden age, back when Kurt Swan was doing the art, and Jimmy Olsen had a new superpower every issue, and Jimmy. Okay, so one complaint that I heard was that Jimmy Olsen's with that hot chick. Jimmy Olsen fucked his way through Metropolis in the 60s. Right? He banged every woman that was there. When Clark was done dating him, if Clark was dating a woman, he was dating their little sister, right? And then he was transforming into some sort of monster or hero or all this other stuff. Jimmy Olsen perfectly cast, perfectly executed. Lois Lane.
I only knew he dated Supergirl. I didn't know the rest of the history.
No, he literally, that was his thing. He was banging his way, like I say, through Metropolis all through the 60s and the 70s. He had his own comic book, for God's sake. I think for a while Jack Kirby drew it and wrote it. Superman's friend Jimmy Olsen. I think that's where we met the Tomorrow People, which was the first of the
Superman's friend Jimmy Olsen.
Okay, so coming back to how they got every single character wrong, right? Let's just go over. Let's break down some of like my logic for why. Superman
is obviously wrong. Okay.
They got every character wrong, right?
No,
so
dig a hole.
I'll dig this hole, but you'll see that it's a hole which is uncomfortable for everyone to be sat in when you realize it. So they've got Superman in this, where he's just he needed saving more than anyone else in this movie. He didn't, other than saving a little girl and a squirrel, which they only put in it just when there's a giant monster that he's saving a squirrel, right? So he barely saved anyone. Crypto had to save him in the first frame of the movie. Then he had to be saved by his stupid robots, which in the first 10 minutes were just like, well, I wouldn't care if you lived or died. I'm just an emotionless robot. And it's like, when you think of what they did with Marlon Brando or any of this stuff where they added gravity to anything going on, they just introduced that the Fortress of Solitude is some shitty place with like dumb robots making bad jokes. When they said Superman has just lost a battle for the first time ever. And then it's all just, well, we don't care if you live or die. And it's just like there was no, they lowered the stakes. It was hang on. It was like an episode of Lois and Clark, but just with a big budget. I'll go on, but interject.
I see the problem. You're unable to recognize sarcasm. Okay, so
the
robots are sentient. They're talking about the fact that they're sentient by claiming to not be sentient, to not care. But it's obvious they do care.
What made it obvious that they do care?
It's a perfect throwback to the Silver Age or the Golden Age. Superman had the robots in the original covers. The Superman robots always looked like him. I mean, they were like perfect replicas, and he could send them out.
We'll get to perfect replicas in a little bit, Diz. Right,
and also he lost the battle to basically himself, so that's not unusual.
That's a massive spoiler, which I was going to try to dodge a little bit. But...
Well, I mean, Dave said, don't worry about spoilers, and I imagine anybody that's watching this has already seen this movie. If you haven't watched the movie, what the hell are you doing watching this?
Okay, go on, Cap. I haven't scratched the surface yet. Go on, Cap.
Okay, so again, to be the neutral body, I think one of the best things they did in the movie is nail the character of Superman. Out of all other than the Christopher Reeve and the Brendan Routh one, Man of Steel, one of the main problem had, like, Superman was the blank slate. He didn't express what he wanted to do. He didn't express what he wanted to become. His dad was the one who was telling him, you can be this symbol of hope and everything. But he wasn't the person in that movie. It was mostly the world reacting to, we have an alien on our hand, and the bad guys come and he stops them. In this one, he expresses interest. He expresses his values. He expresses as a person. And I think that's the first time we know Superman more than he's just, the guy who comes in and saves everybody.
Yeah.
I have to give credit where credit is due.
The folks at Screen Crush did a very good comparison between this movie and Man of Steel. And the point that they made is that Man of Steel focuses on the super part. And this movie focuses on the man part, which is in the right after Crisis on Infinite Earths, they nerfed Superman hard. John Byrne came in and did the Man of Steel miniseries, took away almost all of his like overblown powers. It's only recently, and thanks to Zack Snyder, who can rot in hell, that we have this Superman that is a godlike figure. And they point out in that, and this is something that I did not know, Zack Snyder is a Christian Scientist. And so he's constantly trying to find some way to impose that Christ-like picture of Superman into his work. And that's why you're looking for a super-powered Superman, and we're looking more for the God that wants to be a man, that strives to be human.
He's perfectly powered for establishing.
Well, I'm talking to Pastansky, not you, Cap.
Okay, right. Well, anyway, I'm not looking for that at all. What I was looking for was a good movie. It didn't exist. Bear with me, Cap. Bear with.
No,
right.
Wait.
So,
the problem with
go on then, quick.
The problem with
Piers Morgan today.
His powers kind of made everyone else devalue. The main problem in the Justice League was like he was so powerful that none of them mattered. And that wasn't the case in the Superman the Animated Series. That wasn't the case in the Justice League the Ultimate Series. He was pretty powerful, but he's not the power. He was not the end-all solution for everything. This Superman is perfectly powered. I have no issues with this powerful or not being powerful enough. That's not my problem. My main problem with this movie looks extremely cheap.
That's true.
Cheap.
big budget.
I did notice that.
Lois and Clark. But let me come back to like plot wise. The plot was the problem, and what they did with all of the characters. So within the first few minutes, they establish 30 years ago this happened. 3 months ago this happened. They started dating Lois Lane. Blah blah blah. Then they have him that he's lost a fight. They don't show you the fight that he lost. They do all this goofiness with the dog. The robots are then just saying, we don't care if you live or die. There are no stakes at this stage. And also, they've gone for the idea that Superman lost a fight, flew all the way to Antarctica, leaving the battle. When does Superman leave a battle? So that he can just to get like a telescope lens on him just to recharge from the sun, which he could have just flown up anyway.
He did that in the Justice League animated series. When he
I don't care about. No one cares about the animated.
Guys, keep it civil.
Right? Yeah. So then we get introduced to his parents being there. His parents are there, and it's like, oh, it's interesting.
I'll give you that.
The robots are saying he finds it soothing to hear what the parents say, just so that there can be a big twist that Superman's parents apparently, now they could get themselves out of this, but apparently sent him there to be bad. It's like, okay, so you've destroyed his parents as well. But I assume that they will take that back in some way. And then after he goes and fights and loses against the robot man that later turns out to be his clone, it then has the exact same thing from Spider-Man, Far From Home and No Way Home, where Superman gets defeated by social media. It's like, oh, the public opinion of you. And it's like, oh, so now then, as soon as they've taken away from Spider-Man, they're like, oh, well, let's just go and do Zack Snyder's Man of Steel and Justice League, where it's like, well, I'd better hand myself in, just like he did in Man of Steel. And so now he hands himself in, and it was handled so bad that they put him in this pocket dimension, which they didn't explain anything about how any of this is meant to work. Lex Luthor, and also him fighting Lex Luthor was calling the shots like a NBA coach or whatever. It's like this guy could move faster than a speeding bullet. He's like as fast as the Flash, effectively. And Lex Luthor, as smart as he may be, is able to preempt and call all of Superman's moves. None of it made sense. Lex Luthor, as smart as he is, then at the end, if I skip to it, he got defeated by social media as well and stood there crying. And when you saw on the trailer that he's covered in blood, that's just because they did a stupid Hulk smashing sort of thing, like with Loki, with him and Krypto. Like, and I skipped over the majority of the movie from the first scene to the last scene. Lois Lane has been going out with him for 3 months. We don't know the circumstances of which she found out he was Superman, but she thinks he's weird and is thinking of dumping him. So they've ruined her character as well. Because whatever she thinks of Clark, she now thinks that actual Superman is no good and is worth dumping as well. They got every single character wrong.
That can't make sense. A lot of what you said then, to be honest, from somebody that has never really cared that much about Superman, but seen a lot of it, because how can you not? I love comics, but never cared about him. A lot of what you said then kind of made sense to me.
It makes sense to me.
No, I mean, a lot of what you said, as in the plot points, I kind of got where they all came from. I've seen that in the comics. Like, you'd think they'd explain it for people that didn't know. Like, you think they would, but. Yeah, I'm not surprised that James Gunn isn't, and this isn't the best film. It's for kids, so at the same time,
I don't even think it is for kids. Then they bring, spoilers. They bring Supergirl in at the end.
Yeah, I saw that.
She's drunk. Great. And she's drunk. It's just like these meant to be role model characters.
She's not like that.
Okay, so Superman's too naive and too stupid, but Supergirl's too drunk. Come on. Pick a.
No, but those two arguments don't relate. They're not opposites.
I'm thinking more how does Supergirl get drunk more than anything.
Well, apparently she has to go somewhere where there's a red sun.
Yeah.
So instead of these characters being like protectors, and that's their motivation, she's going to just go to somewhere where she loses her power, and so she can travel like to. How does she fly there, and how does she come back if she loses her powers?
So it's okay for Wolverine to complain about not being able to get drunk, but this is out of bounds. Go ahead, Cap. Or Dave. Dave's had his...
Oh, am I allowed to throw my hat into the ring in this now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was going to say that. No, I've not, but I'm throwing my hat in on something just by listening to all that sort of thing. And from, like I say, going off hearsay as well. It's like James Gunn with Guardians of the Galaxy. He found a formula that worked. He found that sort of balance. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong, but I feel like that balancing Guardians with that comedy and then the heavier moments and then like the dramatic moments. He found that balance with Guardians somewhat, and I think he found that formula and he's stuck with it ever since. Yeah. And would you say that it's the same thing again in this one? Like he's used that formula again of like, oh, I'll focus a lot of energy on like these comedic moments. Oh, we're going to have a lot more team moments because we got the Justice Society in it, or
the Justice Gang.
Justice Gang.
And they're literally putting in terms like how I criticized that Peacemaker.
Sorry.
Like how they had Peacemaker literally saying, "Hey, Aquaman, don't you sleep with fish?" And it's like, even if people can make that joke, why would you put it into canon of your own series? They're like #super shit. It's like, why are you putting this into something that you're producing yourselves?
Well, because in the boys, that kind of humor works. In DC, we've never had that kind of humor. We don't have that sort of thing, and yet you're now throwing it in. Like, I think everyone is trying to be the boys. They're going shock value comedy as opposed to actually being funny.
And Marvel.
I would say, Dave, the thing with the comedy in this one, it did not make me laugh at all. But the thing is, like, I kind of ignored it. Like, it never really bothered me that well as well, but it didn't really land as well either. Like, the jokes in this one, the only thing that was, like, make me questioning thing was Jimmy Olsen being this player character. That was the only thing I went, what the heck is this? It was Jimmy.
The relationship between Lex and I assume Eve Tessmacher, is this Miss Tessmacher, right?
Yeah, Miss Tessmacher.
What even made their relationship make sense? Where she was just this absolute imbecile the whole time.
Have you met men? Have you met rich men? Lex can have anybody he wants. He just happened to want her.
He built a sex
They didn't do anything to explore. They didn't do anything to justify anything.
It's a 2-hour movie.
Here's a big question. In this universe, why is he called Superman? I only say that in such a way because
I don't know.
But you think?
Look, if you've got a problem with all the graphics at the start that lay out what's happened, you have a problem with that. So you also have a problem with every Star Wars movie.
I didn't say about
that. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Look in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane.
I don't know about the opening graphics, right? The whole point. It's a bird. It's a plane. Yes, it's a Superman. In this world, they're like, well, there's Green Lantern, there's Mr. Terrific. Everyone's been around a lot longer. What makes him Superman? He's just another man.
Okay, you know what? To be honest, it's quite obvious what the problem with this film is, just from hearing a lot of this. And I was worried this might be the case because it seemed to be the problem with last time when they started the DC. Yeah. They tried to throw a whole new universe into one film. Is that what's going on again?
But when they did it the last time, the idea was that Wonder Woman existed 100 years earlier. No one really knew she existed, even though they kind of backpedaled on that. But Superman was the first time they'd got the sense of there being something like this.
Yeah, but that was Man of Steel, David. That's when everything was going okay. The problem started when the studios interfered and said, we're going to put more characters. And what they did to this first film is cram so much characters in this. It really doesn't make sense. I hated the fact
it's a comic book. It's exactly like any comic book you would have read in the 80s. Yes.
Cap,
Guy Gardner comes in and gets his ass kicked.
Cap, just like Resident Evil 6, you are wrong.
You are wrong. Look, okay, well, let's compare this to Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yeah. When that happened in the 80s, they had all these, you had this multiverse, and let's call that the Snyderverse, the CW, the Arrowverse, and then Gotham and whatever else has been going on UPN or whatever the hell they're calling it these days. So they come in, they say this is too confusing. Let's narrow it down to one Earth and throw everything else away, and try to also pay homage to some of that along the way. Oh, and let's kill Supergirl. Why not? So they do that, and then immediately they reboot everything. There's a new Superman comic called Man of Steel, which is John Byrne redefining the character and all that stuff. He nerfs him pretty hard. He's nowhere near as powerful as he used to be. The Hulk could basically crush him at this point if there was that sort of crossover. And then other books, like there was a book called Legends, which explored all these sort of ancillary characters like
yes, it's
Guy
another
Gardner.
book. It's another
but Cap, if you let me finish, in Man of Steel, Superman meets all these other characters. Okay, he establishes that they exist. And that's what's happening here. He's just establishing that these exist. And in the comic books, Superman always needs a little help. You don't want him to be this god like we had with Man of Steel. You want him to be a guy who he's an immigrant. He loves humanity. He's here to help. He wants to do the best he can. He's fallible. He makes mistakes. He knows, like,
oh my God,
yeah.
You just reminded me. He gave this little speech explaining his feelings to Lex Luthor when Lex Luthor just killed. They complained about Man of Steel. That look at the destruction in this. They must have killed a few million people in this movie.
Well, they said they evacuated everybody, but you're probably
well. They evacuated everybody.
And they said they evacuated everybody.
They did. Millions of people were killed from this. And then Clark is explaining himself to Lex, being like, "Yeah, I make mistakes too." It was such a. It's like
that speech was trash. That speech was trash. I'll give you that one. That was trash. That speech was not.
But I think it's there to set the tone for these movies going forward.
We already know the tone. We already see Superman talking with his parents, with his girlfriend. It's just enough. He doesn't need to go to his Lex and say, "For the good of every." No, it's too campy. It's too campy. I'll say this though. Again, we can see Superman vulnerable. We can see Superman struggle, but again, it should be about Superman. I hated the fact that there was these other characters who, again, kind of was played up as a joke. I did not like the fact that Hong Kong makes a scream every time she flies. Oh. That shit annoyed me.
I thought you enjoyed that in the animated series, Cap.
Yeah. She doesn't. She screams like a bird.
No, she does in the animated series. She does. There's multiple instances of that. Yes.
You don't do it.
I dare you to find a clip where she goes. No.
Oh my God, Cap!
Like
you're gonna
warrior woman, not a bird.
That's not even worth pursuing, Cap. That's just so obviously wrong. I mean, Dave. I'm
point
sure
to me a clip. Give me a clip from the Justice League animated show where she goes caw.
Okay, I don't think she went caw.
That's what she does in the movie.
Mr. Terrific, I thought was great in this movie.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I wanted to know about him. Why would I kept asking myself, why is Mr. Terrific in this film?
Because they've already got the
computer guy.
Because a computer guy, whatever. Him and Crypto saved the day much more than Superman ever did, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Terrific was fine, right? I don't have any real, because I don't particularly know the character to say whether or not they got him right or wrong. His character was fine. He absolutely.
They made him a little bit more serious than he was in the animated cartoons. I'll say that.
He saved Superman, and Crypto saved Superman when Superman was taken into this pocket dimension. And look, Lex Luthor's plan was to kill Superman. He had him in a glass box with Mr. Elemental, who could turn into kryptonite, where no one can view what's going on, and he'd got perhaps ex-girlfriends locked up in there as well, and he didn't just kill Superman. Why wouldn't he just go through with it? And he wasn't even there to monitor it, because he was I need
the same reason Trump isn't killing immigrants in these holding cells out of sight. Because he wants to do it. He wants to do it with government approval. He wants to do it with the approval of the people. And he wants to do it in public.
How about
that's why
we took Superman to a pocket dimension or a prison cell? He's escaped, and then and it's a lie, and they've killed him, and then they can spend the next 20 years. That rogue Superman might still be out there. Plus, how was he controlling this clone? It's just like, yeah, we've got your DNA. They stole the plot from Superman 4, Quest for Peace, where they cloned him into Nuclear Man. Like, come on, this movie was garbage, right?
It was exactly the same. It's exactly the same as that's what Byrne did with Bizarro in Man of Steel. It was a clone Superman, I think.
Me, I'm Superman.
And so, like, all of the criticisms of like the Marvel films of, oh, you know, look at all the Marvel films where the person that the hero fights is just someone with identical powers to themselves.
Yeah.
That's literally all they did here. They took on board all of the criticisms from the superhero films for the last 20 years and just decided to reuse them all.
Well, let's see your treatment. Let's see your script.
No,
let's see that outline.
I agree. No, I agree.
The outline of my script.
Yeah, let's see a treatment. Let's see an outline. Let's see it.
I don't know what you're going with this. It just sounds like a weird argument.
What's your perfect? I'm not arguing. I'm just saying, what's your perfect Superman movie? You've said everything that's wrong with this one. What's your perfect Superman movie? Which storyline do they adapt? How do they introduce this whole new universe?
I'm not interested in adapting, because that's assuming that they have to adapt something from the comic rather than come up with something original for film, because this was a film. And if you're going to do something where you have to do all the research, if this was meant to be the whole point, when they got rid of the Snyderverse, which John Cena was in this movie, so there you go, right? So there's like, it's a reboot, except for we're going to keep the bits that I already worked on, says James Gunn, right? It's like when they rebooted this, they were like, this is going to look at Superman's origin or like his early years, and then they said, well, it's going to be called Superman Legacy. It's like, well, how is this his origin if it's his legacy? Then they're like, it's just called Superman, but it's set 3 years in. Lois already knows who he is. And at the end, they have jokes where Perry White is like, well, Superman and Lois are clearly banging. It's just like that they're not keeping anything to the illusion here that this is like, that people are learning about what's going on here in this world for the first time. Everything is already pre-established. There's already a Justice League or Justice Society, and they're just calling it Justice Gang because they're trying to make the joke of, superhero names and superhero team-ups have to be something that we mock in every single thing. They mocked so much of that they have Superman saving a squirrel, and it's just like, well, you're just making this... So it seems like, I'm such... And look, when there's the giant alien, and he's like, well, we need to take... And Superman says, we need to take it somewhere to be researched or euthanized. It's like, so you want to take this away from causing danger to people, just Superman to say to kill it himself. And then they just blow it up, and he's like, well, whoopsie. It's everything in this just turned... It was enjoyable enough, but they took all of the characters, and they made choices which turned them into jokes.
Yeah.
Dave.
I will also agree with David on the villain front. I did not like the fact that it was just another Superman clone that was the main villain. It would have been much better if they had actually pulled a person from Apocalypse or something like that. He was the masked man all along, some sort of twist like that. I would have preferred anybody except a Bizarro.
The logic of him being is like, well, he's easier to control. Why? And that also means that he's stronger than you, Superman. Why? Reasons. They didn't explain anything.
It could have been Apocalypse. I mean, it could have been. If he went all full on with the Bizarro plot line and full into the comedy, I'm not really sure how that would turn out because, like, the humor in this film is really not that great.
French Dave, you've had your finger up.
Oh no, nothing. I was going to say something along that similar line. Like keep it in the realm of Superman, but keep it somewhat a grounded storyline. We don't need to have, throw in the Justice Gang. Maybe have them in, but just you could have had Ultraman become Bizarro.
Yeah, and I would argue that Bizarro was not, or Ultraman was not the main the main superpowered bad guy. The engineer. Yeah. Was much more threatening to Superman.
How was Ultraman made? He was a clone of Superman, right? Yeah. Did he have any free will? Or was he just? He was a clone of Superman. Did he have any free will?
It's a comic book. Maybe he put a Starro in there too.
Because, well, here's the other thing: the big criticism at the end of Man of Steel was that he killed Zod.
Yeah.
This poor Ultraman was controlled, probably an innocent. And Superman killed him by throwing him to a black hole.
That's a good point, David.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
Maybe he went to Earth 3.
Yeah, Dave, you cut out a little bit.
Dave said he went to Earth 3, which I think is probably what's going to happen. He ends up on Earth 3. He becomes the more classical Ultraman.
Yeah.
And then he comes back. Yeah. Because unless you see the body, they're never dead in a comic book.
Nope.
I don't care.
I do like the idea of this film. Like,
unless you're Jason Todd, in which case you are dead.
Go
I
on,
mean,
sorry,
technically,
KD.
God came.
Go ahead,
I mean,
KD.
technically, God came back.
KD.
I was going to like it is interesting because I've heard people say that this film is basically like a comic book, like a proper comic book on cinema. Like a big giant monster will appear for no reason. Like a comic book, it doesn't explain it; it just kind of happens, and people come in. I like that idea, but I just don't really think it works that well for a film. Like I'm listening to this without watching it, and
have you seen it?
So many different characters that I'm just like, I don't know if I can be bothered to watch this film.
It's okay.
If it ends up being good enough to continue the DC universe, I'll watch it. But
it's
like
not that many. It's not that many characters. Okay, it's not that many characters. It's Superman, Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific. Those are the heroes.
Ultraman,
and Dog.
Bizarro.
Well, okay, Bizarre, but you've got your good guys in your back. Did you like? Did you like Civil War?
There's this slag man running around.
Did you like
as well,
the Avengers? I mean,
I like the Avengers when there'd been 10 years or 20 years or whatever going into it.
That's the problem.
Right?
Criticizing a comic book movie for having too many superheroes in it is kind of a vacuous argument.
Well, not really, because until
I thought it was
Avengers,
everybody got
focused on one character.
Everybody got just the right amount of
like to hear
screen
from Dev
time.
about this.
I thought it was well done. I don't know how many different ways to say you guys are wrong.
Here's the thing.
I know, Dave, you didn't do that.
We can make the joke saying someone's right or wrong. I still said the film was enjoyable, but I think they got all of the characters wrong. No one has to agree with my point of view on it. The truth is, I will probably, I'll probably watch it again, knowing what I'm going in for, and I'll be like, oh, okay, it is what it is. Like, because the exact same thing with Man of Steel. I was pumped for Man of Steel up until the point that Jonathan Kent sacrificed himself in a tornado. Because for me, the idea is, and that Superman wouldn't save him. The idea is that when when Jonathan Kent died of a heart attack, it's like, there's nothing Superman can do about that. But after losing his dad, he now wants to save people. In Man of Steel, they made it so that, Superman could have saved him. He just didn't. And that's like a fundamental turning point for the character's development that they got wrong in Man of Steel. Yeah, in this one, they've gone with the idea, which they've done in other things. They did it in Smallville, that Jonathan Kent's still alive. And we'll see where they go with this. But then it came to the ending where he's like, we'll play my parents' message. It's soothing. And then it just showed his human parents as if he's now not celebrating or enjoying his Kryptonian heritage at all. And it's like,
maybe he's not.
The idea
maybe he wants.
Superman
maybe he's not.
But the Superman has now turned against the idea that he doesn't like his Kryptonian background.
No, that's not. No, he's embracing his human side.
This with the presence of Supergirl.
You don't know that what? No, that's not what Supergirl was there for. Supergirl was there to set up the Supergirl movie.
I know, but
don't read too much into that.
The
fact that he wanted to see the stuff about his human parents is because he's embracing his humanity now. That was
what. Well, okay, but he's also seemingly to done that by replacing what was set up as he has his Kryptonian parents shown to him because it's soothing, and now he's replaced it with his Earth parents.
I think the robots.
They can both be soothing.
They can both be soothing. Yeah,
they can both be soothing.
I know, but clearly it was.
I don't want to hear from my mom. I just want to hear from my dad. That's kind of
no. But it was clearly done as a replacement because it set the expectation that we were going to see the Kryptonians again, and it's like, well, we're not showing those again.
A movie that subverts expectations. What?
I don't know. I don't know. This just feels like this doesn't feel like the fun discussion that I thought it could have been. It feels like it's trolling.
For me, so you know, Dave, for me, I will say for me, this whole discussion has been extremely funny.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's fun.
No, I'm
both sides. I'm not insulting either.
Here's the
more the anger than anything.
I also agree with David, and I also agree with this. It all now lays on what they go from here. Man of Steel also had flaws, and what they went for afterwards is where everything leads to. They can either fix the issues that they have in this film and then move on to much more of a bit more grounded and more focused storyline, or they can continue, making the mess even more messier. That way, it will not work again. If not, it will go into a good direction, because this movie does have things that I liked in it.
David, I respect your opinion. I just happen to think that you're wrong. The main thing that set me off is when you said they got all the characters wrong.
Yeah,
I find that completely erroneous. I don't think that's true at all. The characters are all pitch perfect for the time frame from the comic books that they're pulling from, which was the Golden Age and the Bronze Age. Like I said, when
if you have to give the justification that it's based on a comic and it's only justified by being similar to the comic, that's kind of missing the entire point. This is a movie for a modern era.
It's a comic book movie.
It's a comic book movie. Okay, you say it's a comic book movie. When is it ever that we get the phrase, well, it's a novel movie? It's a novel movie. It's an autobiography movie.
Actually, we did. Harry Potter. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings. But people don't say, oh, well, it's a novel. It's a fantasy novel movie. They say it's a fantasy.
It's got to pull from something. You don't do a Harry Potter movie and rename all the.
But you're literally saying it's a comic book movie, but you don't say it's a fantasy novel movie.
The source, you say it's a Harry Potter movie. It's a Superman movie. It's pulling from Superman comic books. Okay, it's pulling from, and it's also pulling from. There are ideas in there from Smallville. There are ideas in there from the CW show. There are ideas in there from Lois and Clark. There are ideas in there from the entire 80 years of Superman history. That's why they just can jump right into the middle without having to establish everything. That's what we do in improv. You start the scene in the middle, right?
That's what adults might do in improv, but this is a superhero film. This is a superhero movie.
Based on what?
You can't assume that like children, which should be like who they're primarily targeting, something like Superman.
Why would we target kids with a Superman movie?
What?
It should be for everyone.
What?
It's not just for kids, it's for everyone.
No, but the point is you shouldn't start a new franchise with the expectation that people know 100 years of lore.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with both sides here, because the issue is I like that concept when I was hearing about a lot of stuff at the beginning, that everyone knows, like the Lois Lane stuff they all did together. I'm fine with that because everyone knows they get together. In some of the stuff he said at the beginning, that they start at that point with, I'm like, yeah, that's cool because everyone knows that. But then it sounds like they go into loads of stuff where they assume everyone's read everything, which seems like where that part goes away. So to me, both are right in that sense, because it seems like it goes too far with what you should assume you'd know.
Katie, I think it hit just the right tone. I think Superman is one of the most recognized characters in human history. I mean, it's like 100%. It's like you're not going to do a Mickey Mouse movie and explain why he talks like that. He's Mickey Mouse.
They did a Super Mario Brothers movie, and when you start something, you have to. If you're starting a new franchise, you have to establish the world.
Super Mario Brothers, and they did that. They did that through the show Don't Tell. I mean, they showed us the world. They showed us a kaiju. They showed us the Justice Gang.
It sounds like they showed you a lot of the world very quickly.
Yeah, they showed us foreign countries. Which only exist in DC comic books. They showed us a bunch of stuff.
Thank God.
Dev.
The thing is, like the thing that David says of like the characters, one of the characters. There are so many versions of the characters. It's like saying, like the Superman that Kat knows is from TikTok. The Superman that Dave knows was in Doctor Who once. The Superman that I know was in the animated series. We all know the same characters.
No, there's
that's why
when you get the film series in particular. What other version of Superman was just like a goofy idiot on film ever before this? Whatever version of Lois Lane was just like, oh, he's weird, I'm going to dump him.
The animated one.
When they had it, so when Luke Skywalker was suddenly like, oh, I'm going to kill Kylo Ren, everyone was like, he wouldn't do this. He wouldn't do this. This is wrong for the character. When you got the Doctor in Doctor Who and they suddenly script an episode where he's got a gun, they're like, this is wrong. When they put into the Snyderverse that Batman uses guns, it's like this fundamentally goes against what the character was. So that's where people get these ideas from.
But you see with that, using Batman as an example, is that there are many versions of Batman, and some of them use guns. Like the Green Lantern uses guns.
It's not widely accepted. It's not widely accepted. That's the thing. What is widely accepted is a much better way to go on. With Superman or Batman, these recognizable characters. With Superman, it's always the Christopher Reeve one. No matter how much the animated shows it comes from, everyone goes for the Christopher Reeve Superman because that's the.
Not everyone.
Well,
people have gone for like the Smallville one. People have gone for the animated.
No, there are many versions there. But when we think of Superman, the first thing that comes to mind is probably Christopher Reeves.
Christopher Reeves, Brandon Routh, Tom Welling, Dean Cain, and I forget the one that does the new show, but they all follow this similar pattern. This one was decidedly more goofy. You know, it doesn't mean that it was a bad film, but they made Superman goofy, and they showed him needing saving a lot more than he actually saved.
That reminds me. So Dev made the point in the animated series, Superman was kind of goofy, and Lois Lane was like, who is this weirdo? And speaking of a Superman that needs saving, Christopher Reeve needed saving by Ms. Tessmacher.
Yeah,
he was dead. He was gone.
Yeah, I agree. But that was even saying about Miss Tessmacher, that's where she betrayed Lex Luthor, right? Up to that point. Otherwise, Lex Luthor had won. This one had got him being saved by his dog multiple times, and by Mr. Terrific and Lois Lane in combination. And they didn't show him to. Superman always gives a sense with Christopher Reeve and all of the live action ones since that when Superman turns up, he's going to save the day, that he's going to be calm, he's going to be cheerful, he's going to be respectful. And this character just seemed like a goof. He seemed like he should be delivering pizzas in his personality.
I have a big question. I have a big question. This is from a criticism for a movie, but now we just come to characters. When is Superman goofy? I have to ask. In the movie and in the animated series, when is he goofy? He's not goofy.
The new animated series, he is, and in the
I'll give you that, Dev. He's a lot less self-assured than he was in the '90s series.
Maybe he'd only been at it like say 3 years.
Yeah.
No, he's even younger than this one. In the animated version, he's a lot younger.
So I mean, the point is, characters. You have to give characters room to mature.
In Superman the movie, he catches a helicopter and he's like, well, it's still statistically the safest way to travel. He's reassuring, he's in control, and that's just who Superman is.
Okay. That's fine.
No,
this is a different Superman.
Yeah, it is a different Superman.
Yeah. I have nothing personally wrong with like when a film makes different choices, whether I like them or not. You know what I mean? That's a whole different thing. But yeah, it sounds about the same to be fair.
When he was gooey,
but it's like as long as you get like the fundamentals down to the character, do what you want. You know, as long as those fundamentals are there, that he treats everything respectfully. You know, he's good with humanity. He has a thing against Lex Luthor. He's kind. As long as you get those fundamentals down, it's fine. But
I don't think they did in this though.
No, they did.
But David, you were complaining that Superman could have saved in Man of Steel. Superman could have saved his father, but he didn't. He made the choice not to. But then in this movie, you're complaining he saves a squirrel. He saves a dog.
These two separate things you've said have no relation to each other. I don't know what your point is.
They are very related because they speak directly.
Saving his father and saving a squirrel. I literally don't know what point you're trying to make.
He's trying to save everything in this one. I think is what he's trying to say. Like he's just
I have no idea what he's trying to say.
That Superman.
Superman as an ages will save anything and everyone.
Exactly.
And the thing you're complaining about with the fact that he didn't save his dad. But you're also complaining about the fact that
but in the same scene where he saved the squirrel and they made it seem like he's an idiot, where he left about tackling the monster to save the squirrel, he then said about euthanizing this giant monster.
He said take it away where it can be studied or put in a zoo or
euthanize squirrel. Or euthanize.
That's better than killing it.
It was the whole thing.
He was talking about a squirrel. He wanted
Let's study the squirrel.
Okay. Again, I'm gonna do scene comparison. We want to save Superman as a kind person who wants to save everything. He expresses that very clearly in this film. He even when Lois asks, "You don't have the right to go to different countries. People are going to die. I can't let have that. I'm gonna stop them." Superman expresses that perfectly in this one. Also,
but then he forgot that everyone just got killed in like 50 skyscrapers.
He couldn't. He
was then explaining his own flaws to Lex Luthor, who caused all these people to get killed and all this destruction to property.
No, evacuated the city.
Yeah, because he was saying.
What way were they evacuated? You didn't see him save anyone during this.
He's trying to stop the black hole, which is a much bigger threat.
They evacuated the city. Mr. Perfect alerted the city, and everyone was evacuated. He saved that one girl.
Okay, genuinely, do you think the city gets evacuated like that?
Yeah, that's not easy to do.
That's bullshit.
That was a girl who couldn't cross the bridge. He saved the girl.
Yeah, he saved. Okay. So he saved one girl in a car.
He
saves a girl in a car. He saves a little girl.
But all the people in the building.
No, here's David. He saves the girl. He saves the girl in the car and a little girl. He saves the squirrel. He saved the people by sending the Justice League over there because he couldn't go there himself. But he did send his friends to do it. He plenty saves people in this movie.
What Dev said is.
The only time he was goofy in this film was when Mr. Terrific said, "Stop playing around. We have important work to do," and he said, "I was doing important work." That was the only goofy movement I can think of.
There was loads of goofy stuff.
What Dev said is the main point. This Superman saved everyone that he could, and he tried relentlessly to save people. Whereas, we did not see that in the Man of Steel Superman. We did not see that sort of attitude from him. It was like, well, I'm not even really going to try.
Sounds like he wanted to kill the big monster, though.
No, I think in the Man of Steel one, he was more reacting than proacting. In this film, he's proacting.
But also, regarding like Batman, regarding Superman always needing help, like seeing Superman is infallible and who never needs help, does everything by itself. That isn't Superman. That is Batman. Batman does everything by himself, unless he really, really needs help. Superman teams up with everyone and anyone for any reason. He always needs help and wants it.
I also
together rather than alone.
I also remember this line from the movie when they were training scenes. When Superman was like taking the hit, Green Lantern actually goes to him and says, "Do you really need to take all that abuse? You could let the teammates handle it." And then Superman says, "Every hit I take, that they don't have to, because I can take the hit and others can't. They'd be much better off doing other stuff than me. I'll be the glutton for punishment." But what I would agree with David is that this movie did do a lot of goofy things. Superman wasn't goofy. I would not agree to that. But this movie was goofy in a lot of ways, but they couldn't have not been. Again, Green Lantern.
Silver Age, Golden Age Superman, very, very, very goofy. Those old comic books, very, very goofy.
In this film, he was fine.
Okay. Oh, no, I'm just no, Cap. I'm saying the source material. Superman, that time period, very goofy.
For me, the only time in this film where he didn't seem goofy was when Lois said to him, can I interview you as Superman? And she says to him, Superman. And then he does the old Christopher Reeve thing of his body posture change and he goes, Miss Lane. After that, he was getting wound up by her. He was losing his temper. He was making stupid jokes. And that line you mentioned about, I was doing important stuff, right? That was the absolute goofiest line, 100%. A bunch of the lines he said, I was just like, he's just coming across like Star-Lord. He's coming across like, I got this, personality that I'm a bit goofy. It was just like, he came across like an idiot.
That's not a bad point. He did try to joke a lot, which is not something Superman's known for. So.
Garbage up, right away.
Yeah.
This has been the epitome of a geek battle right here, though.
But
this has been the epitome of a geek battle.
It has been an epitome of a geek battle, I agree.
I would say, again, for a lot of things, it all now depends on where it goes from here. I would agree.
definitely.
This film has flaws and this film has points. It had more good points than I liked it, so I agreed to the good points. And now it all depends on which one do they highlight and which one they take away from. If they take away from the stupid shit and think that's the what made this movie great, then again, I gotta tell you, this franchise is doomed again. But if they focus on the good stuff and improve upon those good stuff, I think this can go as good one.
Well, I think this is the last thing that Gunn is writing / directing for a while. I think everything else that's coming down the pike is written and directed by other people. But before Dev, one thing I will note is the woman that played Martha Kent is from right here in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Ooh.
I've met her at a meeting we have a filmmakers
You
guild.
met Martha this?
I met Martha Kent, and I actually I was getting mugged, and I said save Martha, and he left me alone.
Okay. No, Martha Kent was all right.
I actually had a problem with the Kents. They made them too country, too hick.
They were quite hick. I
were
didn't
very-
like that Martha kept saying that, just kept referring to Jonathan Kent as mush.
Yeah.
Again, it was just like, to me, you look at Superman, you look at his parents, and they're like the ones guiding him. And again, they were trying to make everything a joke, and it was just like, oh, you're speaking to old mush here and stuff like this. It's like, okay, so maybe his fatherly advice should just be disregarded as mush, and everything that they could belittle, they belittled in this film. It was crazy how much. And look, it was a Guardians of the Galaxy film. You know, I enjoyed it, but I was just like, oh, it's a shame that we're not getting a Superman movie here.
I really hope they fix the Jor-El and Jor-El thing, because I think they will fix it. Because
I think they need to. They had him speaking in a different language, which, again, they didn't explain why Superman could understand it or why his robots could understand it. The way they could explain that is with the presence of Supergirl, because her backstory will just mean that obviously he may be the last son of Krypton, but she was, when he went off as a baby, she was older, so something could be explained there.
Yeah, that has always been the case, and it could be the case where, again, they made it clear the footage isn't altered, but they can make an excuse that it was a linguist issue. They misread the message wrong. Because they do have to do that, because otherwise...
Again, in the film, they were like, oh no, the message definitely isn't doctored because these top men definitely wouldn't put their name to it if it was wrong. It's like, how do they understand the Kryptonian language that they've heard for the first time ever?
Yeah, but they also said top men were going to study the Ark of the Covenant, and it's still in a warehouse.
Top men, exactly. Like, everything explained in this was like, well, he got Superman's DNA and he cloned him, and because he cloned him, he's easy to control, and because he cloned him, he's a lot stronger than the real Super. Nothing was explained in this.
This is why we go for specificity and improv. But here in a film, because there's these vague gray areas, they can retcon this stuff, they can patch this stuff. Honestly, after thinking about it for a while, I kind of hope they don't change the second half of the message, because if I was sending my kid to a new planet, I would want him to, get busy.
Harem?
Yes, I would want him to get busy and propagate the genes as much as possible.
That's just a plot to Invincible, isn't it?
That is Invincible.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're right, Dev. It's basically Viltrumites.
So what you're suggesting, Dad, is we shoot humans into space and they have to find bug people to procreate with.
Hey, once you go bug.
Funny you say that is, for about every 5 years, mainstream media tries to make people eat bugs for some reason.
Sure.
Look, if you haven't seen when we did the food show spin-off from Extreme Improv, if you eat anything that's got like the red food dye in it, that is bugs. Every meal you have has got bugs in it unless it's grown in the ground.
Bull semen and everything, man. There's loads.
Yeah.
I drink Red Bull every day, so.
Right, so guys, unless there's anything else on Superman, shall we come on to anything else that's happening in
Zelda.
Lois Lane at the end of Superman 2? What's happening in the world today? So,
Zelda.
anything else?
I was
Zelda
quite
movie
surprised to look at the
Hang on, one at a time. KD.
I was just looking for the box office for Superman, last thing on that, and I saw it's got about 232 million at the moment. Do we know the budget or anything? That sounds like it's doing it right.
Find.
I'm guessing it's very cheap, Katie, because that's my main
Oh,
criticism of this film. It's very cheap.
Costs a lot of money to make things look cheap, man.
So was the animated
The
series.
dog look real to you, Cal?
Yeah, but it looked good then.
350 total. 225 release, 125 budgeting. Marketing.
It says budget 225, box office is at 250. It's been out a few days. This movie will do fine.
Yeah, definitely.
They need it to do fine to be able to launch whatever else they've got planned after this. One thing I will give it credit for, in the way it paid homage to past stuff, compared to the trailer where they had that awful version of the classic Superman theme, the version they used in this was better, although it just seemed to just play a little bit of it and then just repeat. It never went into the full thing.
That could have helped the epicness of the film.
Exactly. It didn't have the theme never got to the epic point of it. The title credits, the way it's shot onto the screen with like the red and the outline filling in was similar to the Christopher Reeve movies. But the big thing is that there was a big guy who was one of Lex Luthor's cronies, and he just went Otis, and I was like,
Otis,
okay,
yeah.
That's nice. They had a version of Otis, didn't do anything meaningful with him in this film, but I like that they established that there is an Otis.
Who was the guy with the big mustache?
Me,
Guy with a big mustache.
Guy with the big
one of the bad guys.
Yeah, one of the bad guys. He was constantly saying, "We've got to shut it down. We've got to shut it down."
I don't know.
Oh, you're talking about one of the Lex Luthor's guys, right?
He had glasses. He had square glasses and a big black mustache. And he's the one that Mr. Terrific pushes out of the way at the end to actually shut down the black hole.
Yeah.
Shut down the rift. You don't shut down a black hole. You shut down a rift.
Yeah, it was amazing how Mr. Terrific actually was the one to save the day in this Superman movie.
Tech guy, David. Tech guy.
Whilst Lex Luthor got cancelled on social media.
And the rest. If you want to talk about something that's unrealistic, a billionaire being held to task by the media, that's unrealistic.
But everything has done this in the last 5 years now. It's so overdone, right? It's so, like I said, the Spider-Man film.
Billionaire being arrested for doing shit.
What they were doing in She-Hulk was, the trolls on social media. The Batman was, it's the YouTubers that are the bad guys. It's just like, this has been done to death.
I would agree with you, David. Like, Lex is still not the business.
And he was crying. This is Lex Luthor's first movie, and at the end of it, he's crying because he's been called out on social media.
Yeah, this Lex is more. I would say he's like the Jesse Lex from the Snyderverse, except he's bald. But he's just as the Brad millennial petty guy from the
yeah.
And also, this Lex Luthor gets someone that Superman maybe spoke to genuinely once and executed him in front of Superman. Superman forgot that happened pretty much entirely and then was explaining himself to Lex Luthor. He didn't even just grab him and take him to be arrested or something.
Yeah, that speech should have been cut. Like that there was no need for the speech. That was pure cat.
Lois Lane was massively underdeveloped in this film. Like Perry White was like 3 lines in this whole movie.
Yeah, but I like
it. And his whole thing was, I'm just going to take this thing with Olsen and say, "Don't call me Chief," and that's going to be my entire character arc.
No, he also said printed. I like.
Oh, I'm sure, probably.
The issue with this movie was that they tried to Mortal Kombat to it. Too many characters, not enough time.
See, Dev also agrees on that point.
And once again, it's just like it was just. This isn't going to be setting up other films, except for we're just going to surprise you with with Supergirl at the end, which is going to be the next movie released.
I do like Crypto. I like the fact that
the funny thing is, everybody's going to say, they got Supergirl wrong, not realizing what storyline they're adapting. Like most people know what storyline they're adapting, but it's not the usual Supergirl. It's another Woman of Tomorrow or something in the storyline.
Yeah, Tom King wrote that. It's going to be if they stick with that storyline, it's going to be. You're not going to like it.
Yeah.
Probably not.
You're not going to like it, although it's got Lobo in it.
Again, I enjoyed the film. It was just a Guardians of the Galaxy film.
Yeah.
You know, I'll enjoy it more the next time I see it. But
I really hope Lobo is not a one-off villain. I really like Lobo. Lobo is one of the fun Superman villains I wanted to be in. You know, it would have been so great if he was the villain in this movie. Think about it.
It would have been nice to see Lobo and Guy Gardner interact. That was one of the first appearances of Lobo. Was in Justice League International, where Guy's pulling his hair.
Jason Momoa versus this new Superman would have been awesome.
They can afford him though in that movie budget.
There's this bit in this appearance where Guy Gardner is fighting Lobo, and Guy Gardner starts pulling his hair, and Lobo says, "Hair pulling? What kind of Green Lantern are you?" Which I always thought was very funny. And that's exactly who Guy Gardner is. He'll pull your hair and he'll flip you off with a big green finger. So,
the next is the series, right? The Lantern series.
Lanterns on HBO Max. Yeah.
With the early edition guy, and
I really hope Hawkgirl doesn't scream like "caca" in this. Oh my god, that's so all day.
I need to hear this noise.
We'll find it. Okay, guys. Anything else on people's minds? There's other stuff I can bring up. What have you guys seen?
David, I just want to apologize. I didn't mean to get super mean or nasty or anything. I didn't mean to upset you. Your opinion.
It's fine.
I value your opinion. Dev, it's nice to have something to come back to talk.
I'd like to talk about video game live action movies because there's been like a lot of updates for Street Fighter and Zelda.
Yep, go for it.
There's been more casting for Zelda. They've now cast Hiroki Goto from New Japan Wrestling as Honda, and an actor for Dulcine, which I don't recognize. And for Zelda, they've cast Zelda and Link now. They've announced casting for Zelda and Link.
I guess the script would be easy for Link. I did
briefly see this earlier. I'll bring up so we can see Zelda and Link, and we can give thoughts. I don't know either of the actors. If you do, but here it is. Wrigley Nintendo have shared this themselves. So
yeah, Nintendo announced it.
Do you think the actor who got the role of Link, he just, instead of his audition script, because you get the audition script, he just got a blank piece of paper and said, say nothing.
This is Link, this is Zelda.
Yeah, nice. Okay. I like Zelda.
Link looks genuinely like he's 10 years old.
But he is a kid, though.
Well, I guess it depends what could. Yeah, obviously Zelda's.
If they're going to go different ages. They're going Ocarina of Time, then he'll be the right age.
Mm-hmm.
But will they have the time travel element and a older Link?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly it's a stinger or something. Maybe.
Could be. That's a good point. It says here, this is Miyamoto. I'm pleased to announce that for the live-action Legend of Zelda, Zelda will be played by Bo Bragason and Link by Benjamin Evan Ainsworth.
It would have been good if he had the hat on at least.
But this is just a photo. I don't think he's meant to be in costume.
I mean, she has the blue dress. She looks like
fair play. Like, and look, what top is he wearing? That is meant to be evoking something in the.
It's not even green. It's not even green.
Poncho from Jedi Survivor. I don't know. Link wearing a poncho.
Yes.
He kind of reminds me, just to look at, actually. Was it Anton Yelchin when he was younger?
Oh yeah.
Remember who played Chekhov in Star Trek? Where he was in. He was like a child actor. If you remember the film Along Came a Spider. I'll show you a picture of him because that's who he reminds me of. Probably won't look like him when I grow up. Anton Yelchin, Along Came a Spider.
What series that is?
Yeah, he genuinely, to me, he looks like this kid. He looks like he does here.
He was in Terminator.
Sorry?
Anton Yelchin was in Terminator.
Yeah, he played Kyle Reese in Terminator Salvation. But there he is as a kid in Along Came a Spider. And then there's that kid. He looks like he could be a stunt double. Anton Yelchin is just curly head version, and this is straight head version.
This kid looks like the guy from Smallville, but small.
The guy from what? Tom Welling?
I don't know the actor name. The guy who.
He doesn't know the name. He's like TikToks.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well, so they haven't announced anything as to what. Like, are they adapting it from a game? Is it going to be an original or what?
I imagine
no,
it's
just
almost
the
certainly gonna be
name and the characters.
It'll be
But
like
I think it's original.
original.
It'll
Like
be
none
like
of the
Pokemon
Zelda
Detective.
stories follow on from one another properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really.
Well,
They
like
just
none
seem
of
to be
them.
going
Like
further and further back each time.
the timeline, they tried to find a way to justify how it would make sense, and then when they got to Breath of the Wild, they were just like, "Nah, this doesn't fit into the time streams
No.
of anything else."
They might do the He-Man way. They might bring them to Earth and do an urban fantasy.
Oh,
What is going on with that movie, by the way? I think they just finished filming it.
what?
The He-Man. The
The He-Man movie.
Yeah. What about it?
They just finished filming it in London. Like, do we know when it's coming out?
Not a clue. Not a clue.
He-Man and his cup of tea.
Just finished film. It's got to be good, like way at least.
It says 2026. I don't know if the release date apparently is 5th of June. But surely, like the weird thing is, there's been so many things which make sense when you look back at the original He-Man movie. It's like where it's low budget, we'll set as little of this as possible on Eternia, and then they'd have Star Trek movies like, well, we'll have them time travel and go back to Earth, and it makes it budget friendly. But then you still even get like the Sonic the Hedgehog movies. It's just like, let's get some human characters. Let's just do one animated character in the normal world.
Let's hire that movie.
I don't know what I keep doing.
An actor who's been in every animated character movie ever. Cyclops.
Dev.
In the He-Man canon, is it really canon that his mum was an astronaut from Earth who landed in his own? Yeah.
I don't know. Not that I know of.
His mum, Evelyn, like two of the villains and Evelyn, the four of them were like Fantastic Four, and then landed in Eternia, and the queen got married to the king.
Okay, so on Wikipedia it says 10-year-old Adam crash lands on his mother's home planet Earth, separate him from his ancestors' power sword of Grayskull. Oh my god. It is just Thor again, right? He looks like
urban
Thor.
fantasy.
He who is worthy shall possess the power of Grayskull.
Yeah. And Jared Leto is Skeletor.
Is Kenneth Branagh directing it?
Isn't there Street Fighter film coming out as well? It's got like a bunch of wrestlers in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Seth Rollins or what?
No.
It's that depends.
He's
now,
in
but-
the gambling. He's in the gambling anime. Seth Rollins is in the gambling anime. In
What?
Street Fighter is Roman Reigns. Who else is there? Hiroki Goto from New Japan.
Cody Rhodes? Is Cody Rhodes in it?
Cody.
Oh, the Cody. Oh, okay. Is that okay? Yeah.
Is Cody going to be Van Damme's character?
Yes. So technically, I've met them both. I've met both guys now.
So the interesting thing, I've got like the cast list, and I don't know everyone, but you guys may. I'll bring it up so people can like check it out. It depends who the main character of this is going to be, because obviously in the Van Damme movie they made Guile the main character. Like Cody Rhodes doesn't really have extensive acting experience.
Yeah.
Having Roman Reigns,
neither does Van Damme.
no, well that's true, but he had starred in movies. Roman Reigns as Akuma doesn't really need to have tons of dialogue. He would just be like a final boss kind of character. So it just depends. I don't know this guy or this guy.
We're having Andrew. Andrew will be right away with my character, because Andrew is a really good actor. Really good. Andrew Koji.
What would I know him from?
Warrior.
Oh, I don't know it. That he's playing Ryu.
Yes.
Or Ryu, as I should say. Do you know what? Down that original Street Fighter Van Damme movie, the character goes, Ryu! And so I'd never heard it said out loud. That's all I knew. And the amount of people that's like, it's pronounced Ryu. It's like, well, they didn't in the movie. But, yeah, so...
Is Ken in this?
Yeah.
Yeah. All of these are just Super Street Fighter 2 related characters, except for they've got Andrew Schultz as Dan. And I think he's
a comedian.
He's a
Dan the
comedian.
hot dog stand vendor. Dan the maintenance man? Who is Dan?
That is a parody of.
He was a character that's meant to be like a lame Ken and Ryu wannabe.
Yeah, parody of Ken and Ryu, who was pink. And it's like there's a wicked difference.
Oh, this guy, the Mr. Satan of Street Fighter.
Yes.
Yeah.
That makes sense then in that case.
Okay, so what do you think is going to happen with the Fantastic Four movie? Is it going to flop?
Definitely.
You think it's actually going to flop?
I'm genuinely in the mindset that it's going to flop.
Guys, one at a time. Dave.
I genuinely think I'm in that mindset that it is going to flop. It doesn't look good. They like having Galactus in it. Why? What the fuck are you doing? And like, I kind of know he's kind of a Fantastic Four villain, but the only reference I have to it is the time that I saw Galactus with the Fantastic Four. They didn't defeat him. The Ghost Rider did. So why would you put Galactus against just the Fantastic Four?
They are bringing back Nicolas Cage. Yes.
I think he might beat him. I don't think they'll win against Galactus personally. No, I think they might win.
Obviously this is set on a different dimension. Exactly. And whatever happens at the end is probably going to lead into how they end up crossing over for the Avengers.
It could be down the street from me. It's still going to be shit.
Okay, so Dave, this looks to be an adaptation of Fantastic Four issues 49 through 50, which is one of the most famous 48.
Those old classics.
Yeah. It's classic. It's a classic. It's Jack Kirby, Stan Lee at the top of their game. It's one of the most famous stories ever.
Is that the one where they first introduced the Silver Surfer?
Yes, and Galactus.
Yeah.
So and they only defeat Galactus in those comics through a Deus Ex Machina, where the Watcher brings them the ultimate a device, a widget,
Ultimate Nullifier or something.
The Ultimate Nullifier, yes. Which can destroy the universe. And so they threaten Galactus with it. And he says, wait, if you're that fucking crazy, I'm just going to go find someplace else to eat. So,
I mean, to be fair, whenever Galactus shows up, like I always had this thought, like, what is the stretchy guy going to do against that guy? I always think like,
here's the thing. The Fantastic Four, Reed's power is not his ability to stretch. It's his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's his mind. It's his
no,
brain.
I'm just making a joke. I'm just making a joke that they are late.
I understand. So I don't think it's going to flop. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be another pure comic book movie, just like the Superman movie was. And if you did not appreciate, whether or not you like the movie, if you didn't appreciate the comic book angle, the purity of the comic book source material, and the willingness to embrace. Well, I was sitting there watching the Superman movie. I thought, fuck, this is the purest comic book movie I have ever watched. They aren't afraid to use the bright colors. The trunks are there. The dog is there. All this stuff is there. All the things that I love about comic books are up on the screen. And I think that's going to be very similar to what you're going to see in this Fantastic Four movie. And they came close with that in like the early 2000 movies, but they didn't really go all the way. I think they've gone all the way with this.
Yeah, because I think I'm suffering a bit of like Marvel fatigue as well. So I'm a little bit done with some of the things, the repetition of stories, the way that they've been treating it. Maybe I'll be wrong. Like maybe Fantastic Four will do great, and if it does, all power to it. I want to be proven wrong because like I said, I've been dealing with these Marvel products lately being really, in my opinion, quite bad, and I don't want to go there and be as disappointed as I've been. I want to go in with the expectation of, I'm really going to enjoy this film, but I don't know. I'm hesitant to say this is going to be a success, but I want to be proven. I kind of want to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
Dev.
It is going to be a success. And I'll tell you the one thing I'm allowed to tell people. This is a completely self-contained movie. There is no references to any other heroes, any other people, any other... It's like just Fantastic Four. There's no.
Well, that makes sense because clearly it's not something that's set in the past of the MCU as we've seen it.
Yeah.
And so it has to be separate until whatever's going to drag them across into the MCU.
Yeah.
And this is one of the problems that they've got with having a 25-year history now that they're building to, is that introducing new characters come into a world where it's like, well, we could just get another superhero to come and solve this problem. So having things separated, going back to what I mentioned earlier, it used to be that all the superhero films were that it's just this character in their universe, because otherwise you would have the overcomplication of, well, this character could come and help. Why isn't that character? Oh, it means that this character doesn't care just because they don't want to have to pay another leading actor's budget to be in another film, and the fact that they'd be able to plot device solve it for the new character that they're trying to establish. So this is no bad thing, and it's a shame that in the last 5 years of the Marvel films they haven't done something more like this, because if they knew that they were going into multiverse, they could have just been like, the world after Thanos was defeated was mostly safe for these many years, but something was bubbling up in the multiverse, and just literally show us the characters that are going to get dragged across dealing with their problems in other worlds, like how we had Iron Man had his own plot, Thor had his own plot, Captain America had his own plot, Hulk had his own plot, and then you find a reason to bring them together. But when you watched Thor, there was no reason to say, well, why isn't Hulk there doing something? It's because there wasn't the scale of time for him to have come and intervened. Captain America, it was set 50 years in the past. All of these things had a reason why that they wouldn't intersect. As soon as you got past the Avengers, you suddenly had the problem of, well, why isn't Hulk helping Iron Man? Why isn't this happening? And now that they're 25 films into it, you have a real problem of, well, why isn't this character doing something about it? Cap.
For that one, I like what they did with Thor, when they basically, after Avenger plot is done, he usually goes home and deals with his own problems. So always the mega nuke that is known as Thor is the solution to a lot of problems, gets rid of pretty easily. That's a very clever way. I have to give Marvel for the points for that. They didn't figure out a way for the Hulk, though, because in the Avengers film, he kind of went off with Iron Man, and in Iron Man 2, he wasn't with Iron Man. We don't know what happened. With the Fantastic movie, I think it will do okay, but I don't think it will do that great, especially because it is going against Superman, and I still think Superman will beat out Fantastic Four. But I never really had any such interest in the Fantastic Four. For me, they always, the reason why I like the 2000 films a lot, because at that time there weren't a lot of other cool superhero films. You didn't have Thor, you didn't have Iron Man, you didn't have more cooler characters. These were the cooler characters, these were the cool powers you see. But right now, you say, the Thing is strong, but the Hulk is way better, stronger. I'm more interested in the Hulk than the Thing. So that's why I never got into the Fantastic Four. But the thing with this is, I think they will link to it, but probably link to it in a way that ends the movie, kind of connects with the other Marvel universes. And I will end this whole rant with one question, because this said the Superman is the most comic book movie that he's ever seen. What is all of your versions of the perfect comic book, or the perfect video game, or the perfect book adaptation that you've seen on screen?
Wait, so what? That's a question at the end there. What's the perfect what?
But
what's your favorite adaptation of anything?
Perfect adaptation. I don't know.
Best adaptation. And I didn't say it was perfect or the best. I said it's the most comic book movie I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, Watchmen probably is genuinely the most comic book. Frame by frame, everything the same, dialogue pretty much just lifted all exactly as it was. But I don't know. We can all think on that and come back to it if we have one. Dev.
Breaking news just now. They've got the new teaser trailer for Mortal Kombat 2.
Oh, no way.
And it's like a trailer. Because it's a trailer for Johnny Cage's movie in the movie.
I like that idea.
Movie. Oh, okay.
Right. Well, I'll try to find it. We can take a quick look. We'll have to begin to wrap things fairly soon. Okay, here it is. Right. So let's pause this. So Johnny Cage having a movie within the movie sounds very Bowfinger. and that is something which the world needs more of. Let's see where I can find the force field, and let's bring it up.
Hey.
And so this is Johnny Cage's movie within the movie, I guess.
It's Carl Urban.
I do like him though. He's good.
Rebel Without a Cage.
Does look like Johnny Cage. Ah, there we go.
Why they didn't cast Jean-Claude Van Damme as this role is the biggest wasted opportunity.
You can't move anymore.
Yeah,
Van
that's
Damme's an ass.
doesn't
Van Damme's an
matter.
asshole.
Van Damme definitely can still move. He's
think
like
anybody
forever
wants-
in the splits.
I don't think anybody
I'm
wants to
pretty sure
work
he's
with
more
Van Damme.
flexible than Carl Urban.
He's not cool enough anymore.
Okay, no, that
Who's that?
Well, no one.
How did it go up?
Uncaged Fury.
Okay, cool. Whilst we're on this,
Alright.
I did see that there is a trailer. Oh, what have I clicked on? There is a trailer for. Oh shit! Did I just close it? I'll bring it up in a second. But the new Stranger Things. We can take a look at that.
Yeah, I just
Oh.
So Stranger Things season 5.
How is
I
that still
still
going?
haven't seen season 4 of that yet.
Last season.
You haven't seen 4.
I still haven't seen season 4.
Oh, well, do you know what? Well, look, we'll have it on silently, so try not to take in the spoilers. But let's just take a look. What they
Okay.
have here.
One, I got
I
into
thought
it
the
late,
first
so I
season was
binged them all.
great, and then I thought 4 was great, but the two in between were kind of forgettable.
Okay, so he's on a radio to someone.
I'd have to
Well, yeah.
remind myself this is the problem. I did enjoy them when I watched them, but I have to give myself a recap to remind myself exactly what point it's at now.
It's just like they're all so old now. Like when you watch the first season and they're like playing Dungeons and Dragons and they're like 9 years old.
Wait,
Gen Alpha aging. This is not good.
This November, okay, so it's launching November, which is interesting.
They're still riding
Okay.
bikes.
Burn in Hell. Who's dead? Who died?
Oh wow, she looks alright considering what happened to her.
Was that Max in hospital?
Ghost
Wait, was that-
Rider?
I think so.
was Edward the copper?
Stop saying Ghost Rider.
I just want Nicolas Cage back.
Ain't gonna happen.
See, the thing is, it's such an interesting show that obviously 11 being the main character, if you see it as such, is that they always have to separate her from the others, and then the others who obviously were the main characters to begin with, especially the one that was her fella, just absolutely seemed meaningless in the last season.
Yeah, I remember not liking them as well.
Okay, another Demogorgon. Okay.
Well, that's why I liked Vecna in season 4, because it was actually a monster that was something different.
Yeah.
I forgot about him. Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
And if they kill Will after all this, it's like that. The whole point of this was to save Will. So if they just killed Will, if they showed Will about to die, it's just like if you just undo what the whole purpose was of the original show, and that kid never made it out of the 80s.
I swear they just showed the crumple person floating then.
Look, that's Vecna coming back, obviously.
That's cool.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of hot. Found you who? So that's Vecna.
Oh.
Yes.
Hey.
Groot!
Oh, okay.
It looks good. It's hard to get a sense of what the plot is there, other than there's another monster thing.
There's
Finale
tentacle.
New Year's Eve. That's a
Split into
pain in
3
the
parts.
arse.
Jesus.
Who wants to watch? Who wants to watch that on New Year's Eve?
Nerds.
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 Nerds!
People that are about Superman want to watch that.
You take that, Katie. I've never seen a season of Stranger Things.
You know, for once, this show, I'm going to say I agree with KD.
Hey.
And for once. Right.
People usually
Okay.
agree with me if they're-
Now, guys, let's begin to wrap this up. If you have a geeky recommendation, do let it be known. Cap, where can the people find you?
You can.
Oh, hang on, guys. Sorry. There is some breaking news.
Oh, shit, it's Nick.
1 second, because right, Nick, we are literally just doing the wrap up of the show. So you have turned up late, my friend. Well, on that note, Nick, we'll get to you in a minute. Cap, where can the people find you, and what's your geeky recommendation?
You can find me on Sword Beats, where I sing, I dance, I throw myself in a bucket, and I work with puppets. And there's going to be a new sketch with Kiara coming this Sunday, so check that. And my recommendation, well, I saw 2 animes. One is really good, but it's kind of creepy as well, so I'm not going to recommend that. I'm going to recommend the not so good one, but it's an entertaining one, The Devil is a Part-Timer. Fun comedy anime, which I really enjoyed. Basically, the devil comes on, live in Japan, and funsies with his own little demon people here now. Who have
he works in McDonald's.
Sorry, Dad?
And he works in McDonald's.
Yes, their own version of McDonald's. So I recommend that, and you can find me on other extreme shows.
Okay, Dev, where can people find you? And
people can find me on TikTok and Twitch on the name FWDAT. My geeky recommendations this week are the new season of South Park and Happy Gilmore 2 coming out next week.
Okay, fab. Diz.
What? Oh,
say bye.
Nowhere. I'm doing an improv show in Dalton, Georgia at the Dalton Brewing Company this Saturday night at 7:00, and I'm teaching 2 classes this Sunday at the Shenanigans Theater in Huntsville, Alabama. The first class is how to host an improv show. The second class is how to do the movie format. And you can find me on TikTok at StephenDiz3000.
Okay, KD.
Main thing, KD Comedy Podcast, new episode of Squishy Logic every Friday. This Friday, it'll be, I've gone political. I'm going deep into the whole, is the French lady actually a man? But she's definitely well, I'm not going to say what she definitely is, but yeah, that. Every Friday.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, my geek recommendation as well. Tires from Netflix. I got into that lately. It's really good. With Shane Gillis, his sitcom.
Okie dokie. Dave.
You can find me here on Extreme on various shows, and check out my own YouTube channel, Dave MC Gaming, where I do Let's Plays over on YouTube and on Twitch. I do live streams over there, such as my Here Comes Jack series, The Sims. There's some new stuff coming out on Monday and on Saturday because there's been some changes in that. And my geeky recommendation, go play the Ghostbusters video game. It's so much fun.
Okay, good. What is that? The
361.
The original, the Commodore 64?
No, that one. No. The remaster version. It's where you play as another Ghostbuster.
Yeah. So it is the same one that was like on Xbox, etc.
Yeah. That's
Nick, where can the people find you?
At my house in Virginia.
Amazing. Thank you, Nick.
Ooh, I'm gonna go for food.
Right.
Also on Blue Sky and here, I guess. Blue Sky, it's at NSTEV.
Okay. Right. Good. Do you have a geeky recommendation, Nick?
Yeah, I just rewatched Breaking Bad. Watch Breaking Bad if you haven't. It is awesome.
Okay, amazing. Okay, my name is Dave Stansky. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Dave Stansky, spelled Pustansky. Get any of my books, including Extreme Improv 2, Bigger Book of Improv Games, which is available worldwide on paperback, Kindle, and hardcover. Get it from Amazon. My geeky recommendation for this week would be to watch Superman, the movie, with Christopher Reeve as a palate cleanser for any terrible Superman film that you've seen in recent times. And with that, from me, from everyone else, until next time, stay safe, always stay extreme, live long and prosper. May the force be with you. Nanu, nanu, and boom, we're off the air.